guys, I'm back again today. I came up with another great card this afternoon and I'd like to try to show you how to do it. It's this card here. It's made with a Curls and Swirls embossing folder, basket weave embossing folder. Let me flip you down and show you what's needed. Make sure you can get everything in here. Okay. Again, this is the card. Put it up here so I can keep an eye on it, look at it. Alright, so what we're going to need a piece of basic black that's 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. I've already die cut out of the center of it the largest scalloped oval. That's going to be the layer underneath our sentiment. Okay. Scooch this over so I can make a pile. And we need a scrap to stamp the sentiment on, and then to cut out the third from the largest oval from the layering ovals. Then we need a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 inch. This is the Whisper White, the regular one, and we're going to run it through the basket weave embossing folder. We need a scrap of old olive to cut out some leaves. I've cut out one of them. We're going to emboss it and then cut them out. We need some gold foil paper and 1 3/4 inch circle punch. We're going to punch out 2 circles from it. I might as well do that now, and then I can get both of these items off my desk. So I'll just cut out 2 circles real fast. One from this side. Okay, that can go over here. Put the punch back up on the shelf. Alright. We need our card base, which is 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored and folded at 4 1/4. We're going to use the thicker of the embossing folders, the gray one. Embossing pads from the embossing pad pack. So we need this. We already used that one. We do need this one, so I'm going to get that one out. Put these aside. We're done with those. We're going to need the embossed and the one to cut them out from the Nature Roots framelets dies. There's the basket weave embossing folder. Go ahead and put this in here. This is the thicker one, the Curls and Swirls embossing folder. Colorful Seasons, the sentiment comes from there. May all your tomorrows be as happy as today. You see it right there. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is take this piece here, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment. I've got it in my Stamparatus just so I know I can get a good impression. Now we can get all the big shot work out of the way. We'll need the big shot and multi-purpose glue, 3 dimensionals, a pair of scissors, and some post-it tape. Okay, Memento ink to stamp this, or your favorite black ink. Beautiful. Okay, put the ink away. We're done with it. Gonna be done with this. So let's put this aside. Okay, now, first thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna let that dry for a minute. I'm gonna take my big shot. I don't know if you can see it. Pull it over a little bit. You can't see much of it, but it comes with the big shot platform. Comes with a thin die adapter and 2 plates. We're going to take the thin die adapter off, and we're going to put the basket weave folder through the machine. You want to put the folded edge into the machine first. And we have the piece of Whisper White, the 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece in there. And since it's a dynamic folder, we only need 1 plate. So we're going to put it directly on top of the Big Shot platform, put 1 plate on top, and run it through the machine. That looks like that. It's really nice. We're going to put that aside. Put this aside. We're done with that. Now we're going to put the oh, not yet. I'm going to use 2 plates this time because we need to run these gold foil pieces, circles, through the Curls and Swirls embossing folder. You'll notice that there's swirls on here. There's a couple that are larger, so we're going to find those. You want to make sure the foil side is up, facing the one with the Stampin' Up! Emblem on it. So I think I want one over here. And I'm going to put one down here. And again, we're going to put it through the machine with the, come on, get where I want it. Okay, I'm going to put it through the machine with the fold going into the machine. Look like flowers, but I trimmed them up just a little bit so that they looked even more like flowers. So we'll put those aside for now. We're done with that embossing folder. And now we're going to cut out our sentiment, so we need to put the thin die adapter back on. Whoops. Our bottom cutting plate. Put our sentiment on. Put our 3rd from the largest oval, center it up in there. It has a piece of Post-it tape on it. I'm going to stick it down so it doesn't move. Put another plate on top and run it through the machine. Alright, perfect. Sentiment. If I can get this Post-it tape off, sometimes it sticks because there we go, perfect. Let's put that over there in the pile. Put these away so I don't lose them. These on the thing that goes on. Okay. Now we've got a couple other things to do with the Big Shot, and then we can put it away. Put the platform back on here. We're going to put our bottom cutting plate. We're going to put the thicker of there's a blue one, and then this gray one, and then there's that thick hard white one. We're just going to use this one and our regular sandwich for die cutting. So we're going to put this on top. We're going to take our old olive paper. We're going to take this leaf. It's an embossing die. It doesn't cut it, it just embosses. I'm going to put it on the paper, put another plate on top, and run it through. I'm going to run it through one way and then back through the other way. This one, actually, you know what? I might need to remove that thin die adapter. It doesn't want to go through, and I don't want to break my new machine. Alright, it goes too easy that way. Let's see, did it? Yeah, it worked. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're done with the embossing one. Put that one away. We're going to remove this rubber one. I'm going to put the thin die adapter back. Put our cutting plate. We're going to put the leaf back on there. And then we have the cutting leaf. I'm going to line it up. Tape it with some Post-it tape. And run it through the machine. I don't need to go back, it's just easier. Alright. Pop that out. Put my die away so I don't lose it. Alright, now we're done with the big shot. So let's get this out of the way. Alright, so now let's assemble this card. First thing we need to do is take these little gold foils. You see how there's a swirl in the middle? It sort of looks like a flower. We're going to cut around these swirls to make it look more like a flower. I tried just putting the circle on with the leaves and it didn't quite do what I wanted. So I just took my scissors and I cut around these curls. Just like that. I didn't do it. Just left those curls. Okay, then there's this one. We're going to do the same thing here. Makes kind of flower shapes. Okay, so put these away. We're going to put some dimensionals on the back of these. Just a couple on each one, so it'll stick really well. Alright, now we're going to assemble our card. Oops, I had a piece of an old olive that I use for the background. Maybe I misplaced it, so we'll just use this one. Okay. So we're going to take our card base. We're going to take the old olive piece that we cut the leaf out of. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, or pretty close to. I might have to trim this down a little bit, but and we're going to glue that to our card base. Let me see what I'm doing here. Black layer is going to go on top of that. There's just a little bit of a space around the edge. Okay, I'm going to pause you a minute. I'm going to trim off this card base because for some reason it's a little bit bigger than it should be. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, now we're going to assemble the decorative part. We've got the scallop, a black scallop. We're going to put it on the sentiment on top of that. Center it up in the middle as best you can. Okay. The basket weave one's gonna sit right on top of this black layer, so let's go ahead and glue that on. And there's just an 1/16 of an inch edge around it. A little tiny bit of a layer between each layer. Okay, perfect. Okay, we're going to put this down over here. I'm going to go ahead and glue it right on. Okay, now one of these sets of leaves, I cut out one prior. We're going to take this one little leaf off of here so that it's separate. We don't need the stem either, so let's just cut the stem off. So we've got a set of 3 leaves, a set of 2 leaves, and then a single leaf by itself. We have a couple roses. We're going to set the roses on how we want them. Like that. Okay. So I'll take the back off the dimensionals. I'm going to put a little tiny bit of Tombow on top of the dimensionals. That just gives me a tiny bit of wiggle room. So if it's not exactly where I want it, I can slide it a little bit. Alright, put that down. That one looks good. It's hard to determine how you, I just want to determine how you want your roses. You don't want to cover up your sentiment. Okay, and we're going to put some glue on the back of the leaves. Glue them in place, tuck them under the rose. Have it layer over the top of the oval a little bit. So it's going to go in here. This one's already glued itself down, so we'll just add some glue to the back of it. Whoa, that glue came out fast. Alright, and that's our card. It's as simple as that. It's a card I made now. Here's a card I made earlier today. Each one's going to be a little bit different depending on where you put the foiling on the embossing folder. But they're really simple and pretty. Well, thank you so much for joining me at my craft table again, and have a great rest of your day.